what's happening guys, my name is Bharat Nagpal and you are watching iGyan. Today we're going to be unboxing the new Sony Xperia Z3 and the Z3 Compact. These two phones just been launched in India and they come at interesting price brackets. So since we have the demo products or the demo boxes over here, you won't see the final product inside the box or the final kind of box contents. But the first thing inside the box of the Z3 is the phone itself, and if we go further in, we get a sort of notification that says a pre-installed application in this phone are not representative of markets. That's because this is a demo unit, so the final unit may have different pre-loaded applications. Then you get a quick startup guide, an SAR information and FCC statement, declaration of conformity, which is this big booklet, and we get a USB to micro USB charging cable, and then you get a wall charger, which is in this case a UK wall charger, but I'm assuming when it launches in India you'll get the Indian pin system. That's everything from the box of the Z3. Let's check out the Z3 Compact's box. So just like in the case of the Z3, this box is also a sort of demo box, and if we open up the box, you get the Z3 Compact as well. I'm going to put this to the side. And then you get the same UK style wall charger. Now dependent on what country you come from, this will be different. And the USB to micro USB charging cable. You also get the same notification that said this is pre-installed applications are not representative. And then you get a startup guide and a FCC statement, SAR information and declaration of conformity for the 5833, which is the Compact. So I'm going to get rid of everything now and take a first look at the handsets themselves. So right here in my hand is the Sony Xperia Z3. Now we have this nice copper color over here. So that looks really nice. I'm going to get rid of all this plastic packaging from the device. So like I said, this color is called copper. And if we take a quick look around the device, you'll see that the design and the aspect of the way the phone is built is almost identical to the first generation of the Sony Xperia Z. And it continues to retain the waterproof or the water resistant and dustproof properties of previous generation of devices. So let's go on ahead and take a quick look at what all we have on the outside of the device. So on the front you have a 5.2 inch 1920 by 1080p IPS LCD display. You still don't have a Gorilla Glass on this version. You have something what they call shatterproof, as they've been putting on previous generation of Sony Xperia Z phones. Over at the front you also have a front-facing 2.2 megapixel camera, which is on the top over here, and if you look further down you have the speaker, which is front facing versus being on the side or on the back, so they've put it on the front as well. There's nothing on the bottom of the device. On the right is where most of the action is. So you have the camera launching and the camera clicking dedicated camera button. You have the volume rockers, the power button, again in the same Sony stainless steel finish. And then you have a door for your micro SD card as well as a nano SIM card slot. So now this device will only accept a nano SIM card. On the top is where the 3.5mm headphone jack along with the secondary noise cancellation microphone is. And on the left is where your charging port is, which has now been hidden behind nicer sort of metallic copper panel. That is the micro USB charging and data syncing port. You also have your docking connectors over here, and you also have a ability to connect a lanyard or a strap to the device, so they've added that on this as well. If you look at the back of the device, very identical to the first generation and the second generation, so it's an all glass back. So you get a Sony G system camera, which is a 1/2.3 size sensor, and then you get a 20.1 megapixel sensor in there. You get the LED flash. You can see you have an NFC logo along with the Sony logo and the Xperia logo on the back, and that's about it. So what you're looking at now is the Z3 Compact. Now this is much more convenient in the hand, very convenient size in fact. And it's also covered with plastic. I'm going to get rid of that. Not a world of a difference between the two devices. The Z3 Compact has a 4.6 inch 1280 by 720p display. Again, this shatterproof screen. It is an IPS display, no Gorilla Glass. It's called shatterproof. On the front is a same 2.2 megapixel camera, and on the back is the same 20.7 megapixel main camera, which has a 1/2.3 inch sensor size and can shoot 1080p video at 60 frames per second along with 720p at 120 frames per second. Now again, the same sort of design aspects over here. You have forward-facing speakers on the device, and if you look at the bottom, you have the area to connect your lanyard or a strap, and then you have the main microphone for the device. On the right side is the camera shutter button. You also have the volume rockers along with the power button, which will be your main use button. On the top is the secondary noise cancellation microphone along with the 3.5mm headphone jack. So on the left you have your micro SD card slot, your nano SIM card slot, along with the micro USB charging data syncing port, all hidden behind these sort of plastic doors. And they've also started to add information in this pull-out leaflet inside the left tab. So all your legal information is on that. All the print information that needs to be is on that. You also have your docking connectors on the left, and like I said, on the back is your camera along with the LED flash, the NFC logo, Sony logo, and the Xperia logo. Now if you take a quick look at the user interface, it's very Sony, very Xperia-like. They used to call it Timescape. They don't call it that anymore. But you can see you can sort of slide away your notifications or jump into quick settings over here and basically choose from a different set of options that you have. The screen is very reflective, very glossy. You can also change your quick settings in the way they show, so you can jump into edit and drop more quick settings onto the panel if that's what you want. If you want more things over here, you can add that. If we talk about the specifications inside the device, we will start off with the fact that this device runs Android 4.4.4, and it will be updated to Android L really soon, is what Sony is saying, which is fantastic. So we talk about the specifications. You get a Qualcomm Snapdragon 801 chipset, which has 2.5 GHz on quad cores, and the Adreno 330 GPU. You also get 3 GB of RAM and up to 128 GB storage capacities. The 16 GB variant is going to be available in India. The device has a large non-removable 3100 mAh battery, which should suffice for a full days of use. But if we talk about the Sony Xperia Z3 Compact, that has the same Qualcomm Snapdragon 801 chipset and the same quad cores at 2.5 GHz with the Adreno 330 GPU, you only get 2 GB of RAM versus the 3 GB, and you only get a 16 GB storage capacity, which is what's going to be available in India. Both these devices running Android 4.4.4 KitKat, and the Sony Xperia Z3 Compact comes with a slightly smaller 2600 mAh battery. So if you look at the front of both of these devices, you'll see that there's quite a lot of size difference on them. But the user interface is more or less identical on both of these. Now on the left is the Z3 Compact in the white color, whereas the Z3 in the full-fledged copper color. Both these devices are going to be available in a bunch of colors. So again, pick and choose which one you want. Both of these devices are IP68 certified dust-proof and water-resistant up to 1 meter in 30 minutes, which basically means that you can go swimming with them. You can do whatever you want, as long as you don't go in too deep and don't sort of go diving with these, because they're not waterproof, they're water resistant. Now user interface is quite similar on both of these, and the phone, the Z3 Compact, is a lot more easier to use with one hand, as you can see clearly over here. The UI is really fast, really responsive, and they've really slimmed it down quite a lot. They still give you these really good features, allowing you to customize the way your menu screen looks, also allowing you also get the Sony applications, Walkman, album, and movies. Basically, you get live log as well, and you get Sony Select, news from social life. I mean, they give you these applications, and these can come in really handy. You also get Voice Pilot for Sony, and you get Sony Music link directly. You also get Sony Live Sports and Sony Live, which allows you to watch basically all Sony created content in India. You also get Big Flicks application. A bunch of these applications are preloaded, and I wonder if it's actually bloatware, if it's what you'll get finally, but I hope not, because a lot of these applications are not required, whereas some can come in really handy. So yeah, Big Flicks and all I think can be removed. So I want to remove Big Flicks. Yeah, so it basically gets rid of a lot of most of this bloatware that you would not require on this device, which is nice. Now, like I said, the user interface is really customizable, really fast, responsive, intuitive, and if you've ever used a Sony phone, you'll instantly attach to the way it looks, which is fantastic as well. You can again customize your themes, apply a blue theme, for example, over here, and it converts it into a blue theme, which is again great. The display is nice, has great viewing angles, and overall the device seems really responsive. You can go into your multitasking panel and launch these quick sort of applications. The calculator, you also get a quick browser, you also get a timer and a screen capture application which you can pull up from the multitasking panel. Now, same is the case with the Z3 as well. The user interface is really fast and responsive, but it's slightly difficult to use with one hand. This device, unless you have large and unworldly hands, it can get really difficult to use this device with one hand. You also get the same set of applications: Walkman, album, movies, PlayStation, what's new. You get Sony Select, you get Sony Live and Live Sports. You also get a bunch of these preloaded applications, that most of which hopefully can be removed from the device. What also I'm going to do right now real quick is jump into the camera. So let's quickly jump into the camera, and you can do that by simply holding down the camera shutter button. You should jump into the camera real quick. And if I want to just take a look at this, so you can see that the camera is really nice in terms of image blur reduction. It also sort of does the white balancing and the exposure settings on auto mode when you tap on your subject. So whenever you tap, it is going to try and correct the colors and everything, and then you can take a quick picture. So that's the picture. You can again now edit it a bit using the photo editor, etc. And then if you go into the camera application again, you get a bunch of settings over here that you can pull out. So you can set your aspect ratio, and you can register faces as well, so it remembers those faces. And then you can go into multiple shooting modes that will allow you to select from various styles: creative, AR effect, time shift. You can live stream to YouTube, as well as look at photo video. You also have 4K video, all of these which are dependent on what you're going to do and what you're going to shoot. Like I said, this will also do 120 frames per second on 720p, so you get slow motion like you could on the previous edition as well. I'm going to quickly load up our website. So you can see it quickly, almost instantly loads up our website, really fast, responsive. It is in the mobile mode. I'm going to check it out in the desktop mode and see how that looks. So even in the desktop mode, really fast and responsive. The browser is really quick to respond. You can see pinching in is really crisp. Text is really crisp, and viewing angles seem to be really good on this as well. If I switch from portrait to landscape, again the same sort of fast and responsive ability to browse websites, which is great. Now, if you look at the Z3 Compact, the camera is essentially going to be the same. According to me, I'm going to get rid of these quick applications that I launched on the front over here. So when you tap on your subject, it's going to sort of set the color, the balance, and the brightness. Of course, we are in a really bright setting, so that changes things for the camera a little bit. But you can see you can customize the settings, you can customize the video capabilities. You also get a steady shot, which is an intelligent sort of image stabilization system. And then you get your same shooting modes, and this will also do 4K video just like its bigger brother. And you can have your creative effects, you can add filters and creative features on to this, so you can get an old film effect, and you can also get a mosaic, which also almost looks like 8-bit. That's nice. You can also reduce your effect, which is great as well. Now on this, I'm gonna check out a video on YouTube, and no guesses for where the video is gonna be from. Sony has really improved their display from the first generation of Sony Xperia Z devices. So this one looks really great. The colors are really accurate, and the black levels are really deep. Video playback is smooth, and the audio from the speakers is excellent as well. It plays it in the stereo format on either side, giving you a really good audio sort of feedback from the device, even the small one, even the full-sized Xperia Z. So there you go, guys. This was a quick hands-on with the Xperia Z3 and the Xperia Z3 Compact. If you have any questions or queries, drop them in the comment section below. And check out our full hands-on iGAN.in. Catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and make sure you subscribe to our channel for your daily dose of tech. This has been Bharat Nagpal. Thank you guys for watching.